today we're going to be looking at the WrestleMania re-releases. I think these were released back in 2013. These are just re-releases of the anthology versions. So I've already kind of got these WrestleManias. I've got WrestleManias on the UK Tagged Classics. I've got WrestleManias as individual releases. I've got the US leather anthology WrestleMania. I've also got the UK anthology version as well. So I've already got these, but I got these for their artwork alone, and as you can see by the spines, they just look really good on the shelves. A few people, a few big collectors have already got these, with the likes of the DVD Freak has showcased these on his channel. I think the Relaxing Ghost, I believe he's called, has also stated that he's after these in a recent YouTube video, and one or two others have got a few of these in their collection, and obviously they hopefully will add and complete the collection one day. At the moment on eBay they're priced quite heavily, to be fair. Relaxing Ghost recently stated that he was looking at getting these, but they're just priced ridiculously, to be fair. I think one of these DVDs is priced upwards to $100 each. That equates to like about £70–80 UK. So they are quite expensive now. However, I would get them if you haven't got them, to be fair, because in a few months' time or a year from now, they probably won't be available at all, and they'll be difficult to find. So yeah, so we're going to go through these quite quickly and show you obviously what each DVD looks like. The first one obviously being WrestleMania 1. Obviously this was the first ever WrestleMania. It took place on March the 31st, 1985, the year that I was born. It took place at Madison Square Garden in New York City. The main event was a tag team match, I believe, between Hulk Hogan, Mr. T, who were accompanied by Jimmy Snuka, and they took on the team of Roddy Piper, Paul Orndorff, and they were accompanied by Cowboy Bob Orton. So yeah, a good event to start the wrestling history off. At the back we've got Piper and King Kong Bundy there as well, and a partial match listing as well, and as you can see, took place and the date that it took place. Second, we have WrestleMania 2. This was obviously a year after. It took place in Chicago, Los Angeles and New York, so there was 3 cities that it took place in. They each featured multiple matches that led up to the main event. This saw obviously the WWF at the time champion Hulk Hogan defeat the challenger King Kong Bundy in a steel cage match, as you can see from the front cover. Decent match, I believe. Can't remember it that well. It took place on April the 7th, 1986, and there's a picture of Hulk Hogan winning the championship. Second, we have obviously the iconic WrestleMania 3, where Andre took on Hulk Hogan, which set the indoor attendance record at about 93,173 fans, I believe it was. Obviously, it was one of the largest paying attendances in the history of professional wrestling at the time. The event is obviously widely considered to be the pinnacle of the 80s wrestling boom. I'm not sure how they got the 93,000 fans. There's been all sorts of talks, obviously, that obviously the fans were not totaling 93,000 fans, and obviously WWE have just hyped the figure up. Also, to make the 93,000, they did stop the state of Michigan buying this pay-per-view, and the only way, if you lived in Michigan at the time, was to watch it live in attendance. Obviously there's matches on here from, I think it's Macho Man and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, which obviously, as you all probably know, is one of the best matches in WrestleMania history, as they both stole the show. On the back we've got Hogan obviously winning the title. Next we move on to WrestleMania 4, which was held at Atlantic City, I believe. I think it was at the Trump Plaza. and the event was an all-tournament event to crown a new WWF champion. This was a really good event as well. It had people like Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, Randy Savage, as you can see on the front cover, defeat Ted DiBiase, I believe it was. Let's have a look at the back if I remember correctly. This took place on March the 27th, 1988. So a really good event to this date. Then we move on to WrestleMania 5, in which Hulk Hogan defeated Randy Savage for the WWF Heavyweight Championship. That Savage won the previous year to date. This was obviously a really good Mania to watch. Again, on the back we've got the date that it took place, which was April the 2nd, 1989. We've got Macho Man Hogan on the back on both film cells there, and we've got a partial match listing as well. Then we've got WrestleMania 6, which was held, I think, outside of the USA for the first time. I think it was held at the Sky Dome in Toronto. Obviously, the main event was the Ultimate Warrior, who was the Intercontinental Champion at the time, and took on Hulk Hogan, who was the heavyweight WWE Champion. And obviously, Ultimate Warrior came out on top. At the back, we've got the date again, April the 1st, 1990, and we've got Hogan ripping his vest off, like usual. What we have next is WrestleMania 7. Yeah, WrestleMania 7. We've got Macho Man on the front. WrestleMania 7, who was the main event on WrestleMania 7? I can't remember from the top of my head, so let's have a look. It was Slaughter and Hogan. This took place on March the 24th, 1991. A great event again. Has got retirement match between Ultimate Warrior and Randy Savage, which was a good match. The blindfold match I remember vividly, with Jake the Snake and Rick Martel, and obviously it debuted, I think, The Undertaker in his first WrestleMania against Jimmy Superfly Snuka. So that was a really good event as well. And then we've got WrestleMania 8, which was held in the Dome, with Macho Man Randy Savage defeating Ric Flair for the World Heavyweight Championship, and Hulk Hogan defeating Sid Justice via a disqualification. I think that match did take place right at the end of the show. It's got other matches on there as well. Most famously, Piper versus Bret Hart, which was a great match. Undertaker, Jake the Snake by the looks of it, and obviously Savage and Ric Flair. WrestleMania 9 was the first WrestleMania held at an outdoor venue, if I remember correctly. It was also the first and only time in WrestleMania history that the WWF World Heavyweight Championship switched twice. So the first, obviously, Yokozuna defeated Bret Hart to become champion, only to lose it to Hulk Hogan, obviously on the same night. So we've got Yokozuna, Hulk Hogan there, and then obviously the event took place April the 4th, 1993. Then we've got WrestleMania 10. This saw obviously the return to the Madison Square Garden. The event featured, I believe, Owen Hart defeating his elder brother. A ladder match for the WWF Intercontinental Championship also headlined, in which Rez Ramon defeated Shawn Michaels. Brilliant match if you've not seen it. Bret, having been defeated earlier, won the WWF World Heavyweight Championship from Yokozuna in the main event, as you can see on the front. We've got a ladder match there twice, and then we've got Yoko and Lex. So that was WrestleMania 10, and then we have WrestleMania 11. So WrestleMania 11, we've got Bret Hart on the front. I think it is Diesel and Shawn Michaels. Yep. So I think after failing to capture the title from Diesel at WrestleMania, 11, Michaels obviously defeated Bret Hart to win the WWF World Heavyweight Championship in a 60-minute Iron Man match at the following WrestleMania. This was obviously also the debut or the re-debut of the Ultimate Warrior, who took on Triple H, known as Hunter Hearst Helmsley at the time. So yeah, awesome event. It had Goldust against Roddy Piper as well, which was a Hollywood backlot brawl. Awesome watching it as a child. And we got WrestleMania 13. A submission match pitted Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin against one another in a bout that received much acclaim. And The Undertaker defeated Psycho Sid, I believe, for the World Championship in the main event. The match between obviously Hart and Austin is considered by many fans as one of the best professional wrestling matches of all time. So yeah, that was a really good match to watch. There we have WrestleMania 13 back cover. WrestleMania 14, we've got Kane and The Undertaker on the front. I'm just going to bring this up so you can see it a little bit better. It was called WrestleMania X-Rated. I really like the front cover of this. Shows the two brothers obviously going at it. The main event consisted of Shawn Michaels obviously against Austin. We've got the Special Ring Enforcer Mike Tyson at the time. Obviously kicked off Austin's career at that point. Finally, of the re-releases, we've got WrestleMania 15. So obviously WrestleMania 15, we've got Austin and The Rock. Austin defeated The Rock obviously to regain the WWF Championship. The event featured the first of the 3 encounters at WrestleMania between Austin and The Rock. In a rivalry that's probably been the best rivalry in WWE history of all time, and that just kind of sums it all up. They've got other fights on there that are obviously memorable as well. Kane Triple H, a referee match to become the referee for the main event, Mankind vs Big Show. So there we have it, guys. We've got all the WrestleMania 1 to 15. Let me just get all the spines together and you can have a last look. So there we go, WrestleMania 15. That one's the wrong way around. 2 wrong way around here, and then there we have it, guys. So WrestleMania 1 to 15 re-releases. I do advise you to get these if you haven't already. Like, comment, subscribe, click on the bell, be a part of the notification crew, guys. See you in the next one.